Cameron Hollywood Boyle. From last year's overall champion to this year's bridesmaid, does he still have what it takes? Dave Hill, masterful in the bumps. Power, consistency, and huge air are his keys to victory. But the man to beat, Scott RoboCoff. 2 straight dominations of the competition in the opening events has Koff with an aura of unbeatability. The rugged snow-capped peaks of Colorado, a dividing line between east and west, and a majestic beauty sought by skiers the world over. Home to the Northwest Airlines Copper Mountain Cup. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Copper Mountain, Colorado for the 3rd event on the 1991 World Pro Mogul Tour. I'm Rod Elisha, along with a formidable competitor from the original years of freestyle skiing, Sandy Santucci. And Sandy, the Colorado snow presents a unique challenge for our competitors.
Well, the challenge is simply that this is natural snow, unlike the artificial tracks we've been on and back east. It's going to be a big difference for the skiers. The bumps do set up differently. This course here is looking a little hollow, meaning that there's a lot of snow on this course. It was just recently opened up. So we're going to be seeing a lot of high speeds and deep ruts up on the top for sure. Down at the bottom on the second kicker, I was watching the guys in practice getting maximum air down there. So we're going to see a lot of triple maneuvers down there, and I think that's where the course is going to, hold up the best.
Well, with the highlights of the round of 16, and none better to take us there than Scott Koff to take on Chris Hornick.
And Rod, this is a great run here to show you what the judges are looking for. Right off the top, we're looking for some good air. Maximum air if possible. The judges are looking for good, tight, concise turns in the fall line. Speed is a factor, but it's not an overriding factor. In this case, Scott Koff completely dominates this run, as well he should.
And Scott Koff shows you what it's all about. A near picture perfect run, scoots across the line well ahead of newcomer Chris Hornick and into the next round. Brian Black, another formidable competitor here, making an assault on the top echelon with air like that and turns like that. Here he's going up against Gary Pesso, and Pesso shows how not to do it.
But Gary's still in there. Sense of humor. Nice pull maneuver, Gary.
Scott Gardner, he's a Colorado skier. In fact, Copper Mountain is his home mountain. It gave him an advantage in the earlier rounds. How about now?
Well, when you're skiing against Cameron Hollywood Boyle, you're going to need more than a hometown advantage. This guy is hot, doing exactly what the judges want to see, a beautiful executed triple maneuver across the finish line in perfect control.
And doing what he wanted to do to win. Now Robert Aguirre, he was second 2 weeks ago to Scott Koff. Here he's taking on tour newcomer Chris Carson, and Carson gets the better of him here and moves on to the next round. It's Dean the Machine Murphy versus Klaus Holm. Dean the Machine, the old man on the tour. Holm, a longtime Mogul competitor, almost crossed the line right there. Longtime competitor, but this is his first event here at Copper Mountain.
And this is where the judging really takes hold right here, Rod. You'll see him as he comes across the line. He is, in fact, crossing the line. He could be DQ'd, but the judges opt not to DQ him because he was in control, so he moves ahead.
Almost lost it again there near the bottom, but Klaus Holm, originally from Sweden, moves on to the next round. Now it's time for Jammin' Jim Gettin versus Michael Nash from Steamboat. Nash, a longtime competitor, but on the amateur circuit. Jammin' Jim, a longtime pro mogler. You saw him lose it right there. A little bit out of his line. That'll count against him. But here's where he really is his demise. Off the lower jump, boom, down and out.
Well, what happened there is pretty simple. He just came into the kicker a little bit off balance, and if you don't throw your maneuver when you reach that stall, there's zero gravity, you're off balance, and it's right there. He tried to throw the maneuver right off the jump. He was a little too early. Bam, he's down back hard. And hey, if he could have hung on to that with just a single maneuver, he would have won that round.
Well, he lost his skis. That's an automatic disqualification. Nash avoided the kicker jump and then did a little air down at the bottom, but it was good enough to win. Scott Scheffel versus Mark Dufour. Scheffel going down and throwing a lot of snow with him. Dufour moves on down the hill. He's from France and an excellent competitor. Scheffel not ready to give up yet, and you never know what might happen. If Dufour went down, he sands his pole, trying to make up some time, and, well, now he crossed the center line. He's out of there. Here comes Dufour showing the French technique.
Right, Rod, and that French technique is he's standing up pretty straight on his skis, ever so slightly back on his skis, but it's good enough to get him into the next round.
And the colorful Frenchman does move on to the next round, Mark Dufour. And now Dave Hill, a powerful mogul skier. And again, air is part of his forte for skiing the moguls. Not as much as he's been throwing there. He's up against Diamond Dave Tosick, and Diamond Dave is now down and looks like he may be out. Dave Hill making his way down the course. A double tip drop for extra measure, and across the timeline, Hill is into the next round. Into the round of 8, it'll be Brian Black and Scott Koff head-to-head. Cameron Boyle and Chris Carson. Klaus Holm taking on Michael Nash and Mark Dufour versus Dave Hill. We'll be right back to the mountain for the round of 8. First up, Scott Robokoff, current king of the mountain, winner of the first 2 events and a 4-time overall champion. He'll take on Brian Black, an exciting skier on the rise in the ranks of the World Pro Mogul Tour.
Red course ready. Blue course ready. Racers ready. Go.
It's a ski-off between 2 Spider Memorex team guys. It's Scott Koff right there with a beautiful twister spread. Brian Black trying to make up time on the middle section of the course in the bumps. A little bit out of control, but some pretty good turns. Scott Koff, Mr. Consistency, bouncing off the bumps. Coming up to the final air, a tip drop for Black. A big air for Koff, and Koff loses the ski coming through the timeline. He was injured a little bit earlier, and he might have actually made that worse, but Scott Koff is up. And they give it to blue course, Brian Black. Scott Koff has DQ'd, so Brian Black with a big upset. Scott Koff, a winner of 2 events already this season, is down and out here at Copper Mountain.
Cameron Hollywood Boyle, defending champion and one of the best mogul technicians you'll ever witness. On the blue course, Chris Carson, tour newcomer who has established himself as a top performer to watch.
Carson and Boyle faced off in the very first duel earlier this year. Chris Carson pushed Boyle to the limit, but Boyle came away the winner. A big spread for Boyle, an earlier one by Carson. Carson starting to make up some speed, but now Boyle really turning it on, coming up to the second jump. A big spread, twister, a nice double by Carson. Cameron Hollywood Boyle skis into the finish line, into the banners, and Cameron Hollywood Boyle looks like with a little bit less air and better speed is going to be Chris Carson. Let's see how the judges score it. It is red course winner, and Cameron Hollywood Boyle will move on to the next round.
On the red course, Klaus Holm, originally from Sweden, now out of Vail, Colorado, a longtime pro mogler. This is his first event of 91. On the blue course, Michael Nash from Steamboat Springs, Colorado. He came up through the amateur ranks there. This is his first try as a pro.
Klaus Holm from Vail, Colorado on the red course. On the blue, it's Michael Nash from Steamboat Springs, Colorado. Nash with a nice split up top. Oh, a cat out the window by Klaus Holm. Whether it was planned or not, I'm not sure. He's carrying great speed through the middle part of the course. Coming up to the very steep part, and then the entry into the second jump. Klaus Holm, a Cossack and a beauty. A nice triple air by Michael Nash from Steamboat Springs, but across the timeline first is Klaus Holm's 1/5 of the scoring. Some superior air on that Cossack. Let's see how the judges scored in a very tight duel match. It is a split decision. They're adding up the score, and it's blue course winner and Michael Nash with an upset over Klaus Holm. Michael Nash will move on to the round of 4.
The Frenchman, Mark Dufour, originally from Lyon, now representing Tignes and Heavenly Valley, California on the red course. On the blue course, a top mogul technician, Dave Hill from Vail, Colorado, representing Team Ocean Pacific.
The wild Frenchman from Tignes and Heavenly Valley. And here they go. It's Dave Hill in the blue course with a nice mule kicker up top. Some great speed and a double air by Mark Dufour on the red course. The French skier a little bit out of line. It's all or nothing for Mark Dufour. Very consistent for Dave Hill. Some solid turns and a double tip drop. A big air by Mark Dufour also, and across the timeline first. An incredible run for both of them, the Frenchman versus Dave Hill from Vail, Colorado.
And it looks like blue course winner, Dave Hill.
Brian Black from Bogus Basin, Idaho. He's a member of the Memorex Spider team, wearing bib number 13. He will be on the red course. Brian Black, an amazing skier who tossed a 720 helicopter last year. Cameron Hollywood Boyle, the Hollywood nickname for his Hollywood good looks given to him by the girls, but he also has that Hollywood style and flair. Again, a member of Spider Memorex team. There you hear the countdown, and they're onto the course, dropping into that tough elevator shaft top part. A nice air up top. Brian Black sidesteps the big bump. He's going to have to throw air a little bit later on. Cameron Hollywood Boyle turning on the steam through the middle part of the course as Brian Black goes down. Boyle, another standard run. He's waiting for Black now. Coming up with a beautiful mule kicker, almost an in-your-face move across the timeline. Waiting for his teammate Brian Black to finish. They'll do a high five, but Cameron Hollywood Boyle will get back to a place he knows so well, the championship run. Michael Nash from Steamboat Springs, Colorado, 5 years an amateur competitor. All in the amateur ranks in nationals and NORAMs, the highest he ever got. Now he's a ski coach at Steamboat Springs, Colorado. His first endeavor on the professional ranks, and he is in the round of 4. Taking on Dave Hill from Aspen. He knows the professional ranks well. Last year, he was the Sambuca Rookie of the Year. He is skiing out of Vail, Colorado for Ocean Pacific Pro Team. 4th overall on the 1990 World Pro Mogul Tour. This is his first chance to move into the finals in the 1991 version here at the Northwest Airlines Copper Mountain Cup. Dave Hill early out of the gate. Hill with a nice mule kicker split stir as Michael Nash bypasses the top jump and goes into the fence. Dave Hill is going to have an easy ride into the finals. Some beautiful runs by Hill, but a nice double tip drop at the bottom across the timeline, and it's going to be a unanimous judge's decision. Dave Hill.
The sight game is on for the championship run. An air of confidence for Cameron Hollywood Boyle. He's been here many times. For Dave Hill, a study of concentration. The championship coming up.
Dave Hill from Vail, Colorado. Last year he won one event and finished 4th overall on the 1990 tour. Now a chance to move into the winner's circle once again, skiing for Team Ocean Pacific. He'll be on the blue course. On the red, it will be Cameron Hollywood Boyle, last year's overall champion. Thus far in 2 events, he's been the bridesmaid, finishing 2nd in the opening contest to Scott Robocop. Dave Hill and Cameron Boyle on course. A nice mule kicker spread by Hill on the blue course, carrying great speed. Some nice turns and a nice triple air by Cameron Hollywood Boyle. A split double twister, but Dave Hill is getting excellent speed, coming down with a double tip drop. A spread and then a double twister for Cameron Hollywood Boyle. But Dave Hill across the timeline, an excellent run for Dave Hill. And Cameron Hollywood Boyle may be a bridesmaid once again. Dave Hill goes into the banners near the end. And how do they judge it? But Cameron Boyle is our winner.
Rod, indeed it was a controversial run, and Cameron, you have never won a toss on the final run. You didn't today either.
Not yet. Jeez, I don't know what it is. I just can't seem to win that toss.
Okay. You didn't win the toss. You were a little bit unhappy about having to come down that red course. How come?
Oh, there's a lot of rocks in the red course. I mean, just about every rut was full of rocks. And it was just tough keeping out of them and just keeping going without getting caught up and losing it.
Okay. Watching Hill, he was very tight, right on you. He was even ahead of you for a little bit there. Turns were good. You had good standard air. How do you think you beat him?
I'm not sure. I'll have to watch the video after. But Hill really surprised me. He came off that top air, and I was trying to get around some big rocks, and he was just gone after that. I was just trying to play catch up, and he still beat me across the line. I guess I just had a little cleaner run and better air. I have to watch the video. I don't know.
All right, and we will watch the video. Cameron Boyle, the winner today at Copper Mountain.